Arab and others, with Mukhtar leading the charge, they bum rushed the door, all on camera, to take over the last independent Negro Masjid. Do you know how wonderful that is? To have the visual, you got to visualize it. Everybody in the world knows, physically, we bought that, we do that. They don't have nothing to do with it. But they're going to they're going to take it over physically. What do? Do we repel them? It's an insult. Not for the Negro to act a fool, but it's a real insult for these Arabs that when they, you have to really be in control of yourself. You're looking at it now. You have to be in control of yourself. Because the Negro has a right to act a fool, because it's historical background. But Arab don't have no right to come around here acting like somebody, and you just don't have a right. You have to control yourself. That's the main thing in strategic retreat, in drawing the enemy in deep. Jump from there to the last thing you saw on the TV. I mean, on this thing. It was so hilarious. It seemed like if you watch the progression, you will watch somebody going from crazy to absolutely insane. Visualize the last thing you saw. Think about it. Khadijah blamed me for the flood, Noah's flood. Might as well, which is not technically, but it's stuff I done forgot. Look, it was insane. It was so crazy that a lot of people would feel sorry for me. You could look at it, I wasn't feeling bad at all. Only thing are you really gonna, because I started to say, I might have said it, I don't believe you put that up. Are you you're gonna put this right here on that thing, on the gadget? Yes, I am, fine. I wanted to say, I dare you, but I didn't. I got a commitment, I gotta put it on, and he did it. Do you know when they do fact checks? You do a fact check of anything they've ever said over the last 5 years. You won't find not one fact. Not one fact. You find super the opposite. It's so hilarious. And so, they stole all of my paperwork. And what did they say about this picture? They might have said something in the picture, the Bob Hoffman experience. Yeah, this picture here. This is a fashion page. But it shows more than that. They tried to draw a picture of the dear brother as a dope dealer, not as an economic reformer. When I told them about East Oakland Enterprises, you didn't know East Oakland. I looked on the internet, I see it's 1968, 69, 70, 71. You're going to find East Oakland Enterprises? Well, that's the name we use for ourselves. There ain't no trademark, so only people know about it is us. But when you look at Oakland, do you remember when you watched Martin Luther King, that he moved to Chicago to start an economic enterprise, and his next march on Washington would have been the Poor People's March? Remember that? In Oakland, we had a socialistic movement. It was social. Everybody in Oakland, the economic thing, Oakland, East Oakland, became the economic engine of the region. for black people. I had 4 or 5 record shops myself. Here, music industry says Clarence Reams, talent agent. That means we were booking programs and hooked up with literally everybody this is the first time young people from, let's say, 18 to about 24, 25 years old, black people was in business for themselves. And was East Oakland economically deprived? Absolutely not. We were bringing money into East Oakland and using the principle that all smart people use: money circulates in the community before it goes out. With other black communities, money come in on the first and by the third it's gone. We drew money into East Oakland, and we had the only successful economic enterprise zone in America. And the white man knew it. That's why he said, we're getting ready to do this. And everybody in Oakland knows it. All you have to do is ask, how is the economy? Okay, so-called drug dealers, they have statistics. I haven't even read them. But the statistics in Oakland, what they call, since I was the mayor, they called me the mayor of East Oakland, during my administration, not a single killing, murder relating to anything we or anybody associated with us, because it was against the rule, just like it's against the rule to beat a dumb nigga upside the head. It was against the rules then. That's what saved us. We never followed. That's why everybody think it was new. That's what happened to our famous Imam. They just made him mad. Simple as that. That's insanity. You can't let nobody just make you mad and then you go off and do something. Right? That's insanity. That means all they got to do is look at you and come up with one gimmick. Right? So we didn't run the whole gamut on them. None of them work. Some of them have some little effect, but they don't work. They don't cause us to do anything outside of our character. In order to do that, you have to have certain things. When we talk about endurance, self-control, self-management, all of that, endurance means over a long period of time. Everything that has happened has been going on over a long period of time. That's why we started this stuff before in Jahiliyyah, strategic management, thinking and planning and all of that. We started that in Jahiliyyah. But event after event and then accepting Islam brought on improvement, betterment, al-Islam, that's what it brought on, improvement. So we used a lot of the titles. A lot of the titles are very simple. We'll catch up a couple of them and then we'll go. The only entirely correct position is that a revolution or a revolutionary war is an offensive, but also involves defense and retreat. To defend in order to attack, to retreat in order to advance, to move against the flanks in order to move against the front, and to take a roundabout route in order to get on to the direct route. This is the inevitability in the process of development of many phenomena, especially military movements. Profit and loss What constitutes a defeat? Strategically speaking, there is a defeat only when a counter campaign against encirclement and suppression fails completely. But even then, the defeat is only partial and temporary, for only the total destruction of the military would constitute complete defeat in the Civil War. But this has never happened. The loss of extensive base areas and the shift of the army constitutes a temporary and partial defeat, not a final and complete one, even though this partial defeat entailed losing 90% of the party membership. That had happened to them. But for us, our belief is this: if there's one person alive that holds these values, the whole thing is still intact. When I was in exile, when I left the country, the organization, everybody went about their business. And nobody even called me and said, "Do you need a little help? You think?" And they would drive big cars, some bought limousines and stuff. But they never called me and asked me, did I need $5,000 or $10,000, which would be a big help outside the country. What saved, that we always thought, even as an individual, in an organization, it's we, it's us. In those days, it was the organization. As long as there's one person alive, believing in, thinking in, and acting in organization, the organization is alive. So when things spring up again in Colombia, it's only the organization reshuffling itself. So there's never a defeat unless there's total elimination. That's why we had titles of some of our stuff like, "Be prepared to sleep under a bridge." Well, we are psychologically prepared for that, even now. We don't think it happened, but if it would, it wouldn't be nothing. In fact, it would be better. You know why? Because when you get, the best thing, you want to fight hard, is get people not believing in you. Yeah, the brother's about finished. And you short and low on money. And the best thing is to get a couple of people to laugh at you, smile like, yeah, look like you're a goner. You talk about motivation. Under those conditions, for some people, it's impossible. It ain't possible. It ain't possible to lose under those conditions. You got some stupid Negro thinking, or the white man, well, you're a goner now, Joey boy. You talk about a motivated, you eat grass, sleep on top of a garbage can, pick up pennies, anything, pretty soon you're back. That's the attitude you have to have anyway. Here we shall discuss only strategic retreat, which was called luring the enemy in deep. Retreat is necessary because not to retreat a step before the onset of a strong army inevitably means to jeopardize the preservation of one's forces. What we have done now, militarily and strategically, we've drawn the government in deep, 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 one stage after another. And we never stopped drawing them in deep. That they would violate this civil rights, that civil rights, and it would be public. And they would file paper after paper that you can get copies of, paper after paper, totally illegal. That's called drawing them in deep. That's what we have done. We have drawn the government in deep. The circumvention of suppression, counter campaigns against da-da-da-da-da. I don't want to, what I want to mention about this is that if you read some of our old articles, you'll find that we have studied all the historical and military texts, and we've made commentary on them. Some of our articles, Clausewitz is their greatest statistician, whatever they call it. We've studied them, we've studied Chairman Mao, we've studied, look, this is a great book, War in the Shadows. 2,000 years of the guerrilla war from the ancient Persian to the present. This is a great book. This is a book that they knew that I would love, and somebody just put it right down there on the table. The exact book. When Robert Asbury, War in the Shadows, first appeared in 2 volumes in 1975, it was immediately hailed as a definitive study of guerrilla warfare. Now, 19 years later, and many guerrilla insurgencies later, the esteemed military historian has revised and updated his classic work into a magnificent volume, ranging from Alexander the Great battles with the Asiatics, through the Russian Revolution and on up to the turmoil in the Middle East and the Battle of Northern Ireland. War in the Shadows is a book of monumental sweep and a singular perspective. It gives all the credentials. This is a great war strategist. Why did they put this book here? Because they knew I would love to read it. And they knew I was shifting into guerrilla warfare, but psychological guerrilla warfare. So they wanted to get things physical. So they give me all the great strategies, and I read them, of course. Just like, here's some Chairman Mao said, the problems of strategy in China's Revolutionary War. The laws of war are developmental. The laws of war are a problem which anyone directing a war must solve. The laws of revolutionary war are a problem which anyone directing revolutionary war must study and solve. But what he says is, you must study the laws of war. But you also have to study the particular war that you're fighting. And here's something that people make the mistake. Whether a revolutionary war, a class war, or a national war has its own specific circumstances and nature, in addition to the circumstances and nature of war in general. Each war has a natural circumstances of a war situation. But each one has its own specific characteristics. But the Civil War and National War is waged in the specific environment of China, and so has its own specific circumstances and nature, distinguishing it both from a war in general and from a revolutionary war in general. Now, Chairman Mao was demoted in the early 1930s, around 1930. And the Russian arm of the Communist Party inside of China, they gave it prominence. But Chairman Mao adopted guerrilla warfare instead of confrontational warfare. march, which started out, let's say, some say, a million men, strategic retreat for over 6,000 miles, maybe 7. Like retreating in a battle over a long period of time, 1934 and 1935, on foot and horseback. You travel a defensive battle from here to California and back. And you go up the top, and you're going up. Sometimes you got summer uniforms and you're climbing high mountains, freezing to death. You're going through swamps like going through Louisiana in the old days, eastern Texas, or something like that. On horseback and on foot. Disease. All the time you're being encircled and pursued by the Chiang Kai-shek, which has aeroplanes and everything else. After that period, Chairman Mao goes back to the head of the party. You know why? Because what he said was, you have to adopt the principles that relate to the Chinese phenomenon. Russia had an industrial revolution. China has a peasant revolution. You know, all old films you see about China and their peasants. Russia is industrialized. Peasants. So that you see. It's different. For us, all the rules that apply to normal warfare, counter-warfare, and all of the party principles are thrown out the window with us. In Algeria, if you broke any principle, you was basically killed. The FLN. If you stole any money, if you were an informer, you'd be killed. It's like old communist, I might as well have been a communist party. Okay. Us, we don't have none of those principles. None of them. And it started a long time ago. Kindness, optimism, and humor. Can you imagine you're going to fight a battle